Hello, Quest for Thunder. Saturday. We're in September now. It's the 15th of September, as a matter of fact. Oh, is it the 14th, Gene? Oh, my watch says the 15th. No, well, 14th of September then. Anyway, we're heading down to our slip. Aha! It is the 15th, so there, it's 15th, the 15th. Yes, that's right, 15th. Anyway, again, we're heading down to our slip to work on Thunder. And we've got some more bondoing to do and some more old glorious sanding to do. There she is. There she is, Thunder. Everybody say yay. Anyway, so when we get aboard and get started, we'll catch up with you. Okay, after getting to the boat today, noticed some water in the bilge. We have had a significant amount of rain here in the Houston area over the last couple of weeks. A lot of very strong rains. And so I wasn't surprised to see a little bit of water in the bilge. It wasn't all that much, but it was enough to lift the float switch almost up high enough in the bilge to trip the automatic bilge pump. Not quite, but almost. So I figured, hey, we got the water in the bilge. Let's run the bilge pump, see how it does. Good opportunity to test the bilge pump. And lifted the bilge. Manually lifted the float switch. The bilge pump came on. Water level really didn't go anywhere, just sort of sat there. Had Gene go out and look at the outlet where the bilge, where it actually, where it goes through the hull and goes out, and there was a little bit of effluent, but really not very much. So I was like, okay, well, let's try the manual. Let's try the switch on the console. Flick that one on. Well, as it turns out, that just turns on the same bilge pump. So I'm like, okay. So there's another bilge pump in the engine room compartment. That one didn't come on. That one doesn't come on with the switch. It didn't come on with the lower float switch, and when I lift the upper float switch, nothing happens. So I'm assuming now that I've had this little evolution, I'm assuming that the upper float switch is supposed to trigger that other bilge pump. Now, the question is the bilge pump burn out, or is the float switch bad? So I'll have to troubleshoot that and figure that out. Given the age of these pumps, I'm leaning towards, hey, it's probably a bad pump. But I don't know. It might be just worth replacing it for a peace of mind anyway, because they are old. I know the one that does come on, it doesn't appear to be pumping anything, so and it looks like it's on its last leg, so I'll probably be replacing that one. And then last week we were talking about the shower sump up forward, and that pump, well, it's the same exact pump as is in the back of the bilge, so it's a light duty bilge pump. So looks like I'm going to be replacing both those. So it looks like I'm going to be replacing 3 separate pumps. Very disconcerting. Went to the manual pump, which is under the nav station seat, and started pumping there, and sure enough, water volume in the bilge went right down. So that pump definitely works. The manual pump, the hand-driven pump, and it took the water level down pretty quickly. And Jean went out and checked through hull for that, and she said, yeah, it was a good volume coming out. So at least we know that the manual pump, the hand-driven pump, works. So now we just got to get these other 2 pumps going. And I'll show you which pumps. I'll show you what I'm talking about, which ones they are. All right, so here we are in the engine room compartment. This is in the aft stateroom, and there's a pump right there. If you can see that or not. See that pump right there. Okay, so the pump actually operates. It actually comes on, but we don't You don't see a whole lot of volume, so I'm thinking it's probably just bad. You know, it's old and probably just needs to be replaced. The pump the other bilge pump that we have is that bilge pump right there. Again, I know this is kind of dark. That bilge pump right there, and so it did not come on at all. So I'm thinking that that pump is bad. You have to replace that pump. Anyway, not happy about this, but gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, I might have discovered a possible reason for why that one bilge pump is not coming on with the upper float switch, and that is right here. It looks like this is a fuse holder, and I trace this line back and it goes to the float. It goes to the float switch. So there's a fuse that goes in here. The other side of it is right there, and the fuse is not there. It's not there. So without the fuse, obviously the float switch isn't going to work, which isn't going to turn on the pump. So I've got to figure out what kind of fuse goes in here. On the pump it says a size 15A, so we'll see if I can find. It's going to be similar to one of those long glass fuses. Go in here, but yep, I think that might be the reason why that float switch isn't working. The upper float switch, I don't know if you can see them down there. There's two float switches. There's one lower float switch, and then there's an upper float switch. The upper one doesn't function. The upper one there, and the lower one to the left of it. There's a lower one. You can see it. That one works. The upper one there does not. So anyway, gotta get this fixed. This is a bilge issue, so priority number one right now.
It's weird.
So Jean's working in the forward head, and that bulkhead there that she's working on was the bulkhead that we put the filler on, and we recently sanded it down. Jean, you sanded it to 120 grit?
Yes.
And so it's really nice and smooth. So what are you putting on there right now?
I'm putting the primer on, the first coat.
It's going to take several coats of primer.
Yeah, it's going on thinly, it looks like.
Yeah. Anyway, so and then we're going to put we're going to switch up the paint because this is a wet area in here. We're going to put a oil-based paint in here, an Alkyd oil-based acrylic, I think. And we're going to move away from white. Yeah, we're going to pick a different color.
Yeah, something nice. I haven't decided yet what.
Yeah.
Maybe a lighter green or peach or...
Yeah, like a pastel or...
I don't know. I'll have to just... Maybe not a pastel, but...
We're going to use semi-gloss in here, right? So that it's easy to wipe and clean.
Yeah, it'll get wet for sure with the shower.
Okay. And I'll let you get at it.
Alright, hon. What are you going to do?
I don't know yet. Figure it out.
You'll figure it out?
Yeah.
There's a lot to do.
Yes, there is. Alright, up with the music, on with the work. Okay, so this is the aft head, and this is the Bondo filler on this part of the bulkhead. I haven't done underneath yet. There's a piece of board there that I need to remove, plus there was a spot I had to fill right there. And so I gotta wait for that to dry. I moved that board so I can get back in there. And then inside the shower compartment, ooh, it's dark in here. Let's see if I can get some light on the subject. There we go. So here we have the shower compartment. So yeah, so I gotta do this area too. In here we have these screws that protrude, so I'm gonna have to use my Dremel and cut them off flush with the what do you call it here, fiberglass. And then we'll put the Bondo on here, and then I'll need to get some trim. I'm gonna have to try to find some wood that matches this trim to put down here to trim it out. So, yeah. Or I could take all this trim out, I guess, and use something else. But it'd be easier just to find a piece, I think, for there. Same thing down here. I need trim around there. That trim there, I'm gonna have to cut this trim here and then fashion this piece to fit so that it's flush. Because there used to be wood and a bar that went across here, and I took it out because it was damaged, which left me this gap right here that I have to figure out. So we cut the trim here, and then we can move this piece up, obviously. So that'll work. Do that on that side too. So, and then in that space there, probably just fill that with some foam, and then caulk around that. But yeah, anyway, so this just comes off here once it's dry, and just with a putty knife. Anyway, yeah. So this head needs a lot of work. We're gonna remove this toilet, new toilet. We need to this old mirror, the old light. We've done the overhead. The overhead is all new overhead, so that's good. I'm gonna get these walls done and painted, and figure out what we're gonna do about this cabinetry. Not sure. We may just paint it. We'll see. Well, Questers, that's it for this week. We did a bunch of different things. We did some troubleshooting on some of the pumps. After we realized we were having some issues, found that fuse for the one float switch. Haven't gotten the fuse yet to test to see if that was actually the reason the pump's not coming on. I'm hopeful that that's it. But we also did discover that one of our bilge pumps is not really pumping water. So we're gonna need to probably replace that pump along with the sump pump forward. And then the other bilge pump, the one that is hooked at other float switch, we'll have to see how that one works. But it looks like it might be a little bit newer than the others, so it might be okay. It might be working all right. So we'll have to see. But I don't know. I might just replace them all just because, it's just peace of mind. We worked in the forward head. Gene got the first coat of. We got it sanded down and got it sanded to 120 grit, and then Gene got the first coat of primer on there, and then I worked in the aft head and got a good portion of the bulkhead back there covered with filler. Also did a little section out by the galley. I didn't show that, but there was a section that was hard to get to, and there was a place where the plywood that was on the bulkhead where we had cut it away, but because we couldn't get a tool up in there, we still had a remnant of that, so I took some more of that away, and then I put some filler in there to try to fill it so that it's even, and then we'll just sand it back and paint the whole thing. So I didn't show that, but that's also done. So now here I am waiting. I'm at the boat. I'm finished. Jean is she's run home to let the animals out and to cook us some dinner. She's going to be bringing that back to the boat. We're going to have dinner on the boat in the cockpit tonight. So it should be good. Looking forward to the sunset. There's a nice breeze, and it was a good day today. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. We'd appreciate it if you'd share these videos with your family, friends, acquaintances, whoever, and hit that like button if you like the content. Also, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you'd like to see. If we're not showing stuff that you want to see, if there's something else you want to see, let us know about that. We'd love to hear from you. I guess that's it. I guess that's a wrap. So from the crew of Thunder, fair winds and following seas. See ya.